I made this video to show you how I use the lathe track system from Wood Turning Wonders with my jet Midi lathe. So let's get started. This is the actual lathe track which mounts onto the lathe using a couple of brackets. Because of the way the jet Midi lathe, this is the 1221 Midi lathe, is made, and the way the shape of the cast iron is on the outside. This 24-inch bar really won't fit down low, and you really can't fit it up high. On this lathe, the only way you can position it is about at this level here. The attachment brackets make for a very secure connection, and it's really rock solid, and you can't budge that track from moving. Here you can see the Quasar light, which is fairly heavy duty, has a very strong neck, and it has this mounting bracket for mounting onto the lathe track. And this is the dust collection hood, also with the mounting bracket down here to mount to the lathe track. I did have an issue with the light unscrewing from the mounting bracket, and therefore I put a nut on the bottom to try to help it stay in place. This really doesn't help very much. There's a little bit of an issue here with the light unscrewing itself from the bracket, even though it comes from the manufacturer with some Loctite on the threads. I found, at least in my use, when I try to rotate the light, that Loctite would quickly break and the light would unscrew from the bracket. And so that's why I put the nut on the bottom and try to be very careful not to twist the light, but to kind of push it back and forth rather than to rotate it within the bracket. Here's what the light looks like when it is attached to the bracket. You can slide the light left and right along that bracket, and the system works actually quite well. And the heavy-duty neck of the light really stays where you put it. There's no sagging of the light at all, which is quite nice. Here is the dust collection system attached to the lathe track. Okay. One thing that you'll find, though, is that the connection for the dust collection system requires you to screw in the hose. You can see there's the screw fitting there. What I have from my hose is a system that looks like that, and you'll find out that you cannot directly attach that fitting onto the screw fitting. So you either have to buy an adapter, or what I did was to take a piece of PVC. This was the end of a sewer pipe. It comes with a natural kind of taper on the end of the pipe, and it turns out that fits perfectly onto the fitting. And then my black connector fits directly into that. So that's how I got around that issue. I found, because I had to put the lathe track fairly high up on the lathe because of the way the jet is made, that it put the dust collection hood a little bit too high. Now, you can certainly bend those support cables, but they're extremely strong and rather difficult to bend. And I was looking for a solution that was a little bit better than trying to bend those cables. So I came up with making my own bracket. This is the system that I came up with, just a piece of scrap wood. I put a nut and some wing nuts and a bolt through the top. And this is the part that will slide into the track system, riding on these bolts. Then down here, there is a little bit of an edge that will sit onto the wire rack at the bottom of the lathe. And then my dust hood can be connected at various locations via these drilled holes. And by trial and error, I found the best location for my need. If I were to redo this kind of in a future version, I might connect these two holes together so that the dust collection system can slide up and down and be kind of infinitely variable. But for now, the system works just fine. I'll show you what that looks like. Here you can see that I've mounted this little jig onto the track with the ring nuts unscrewed. I can slide it back and forth. And then on the side down here, you see that little lip that I put into the wood slides over the end of the wire rack, which prevents it from moving out in that direction. Okay, so now I've added the dust collection system by attaching the bracket onto my little wooden jig. Again, by loosening the ring nuts, I can slide this back and forth. But I find that the majority of the time I like to leave it close to the headstock to give me free room around here to use my tools. All right, thanks for watching. I'm really quite happy with the system as I've got it now. The light works great, dust collection system works great, and I think I'm good to go.